Welcome to the Whitetail Obsession Podcast with Dave Richmond and co-host Chris Worthing, where we talk and teach everything deer and turkey hunting related. Follow along as we help teach you tips and techniques about hunting, food plots, and habitat management strategies that everyone can use.
Okay, so today on the podcast, we're going to talk about the different herbicides that you use in your plots. And one of the key factors in using these plots is the temperature that you want to use them at. So normally you want to wait till nighttime lows are no lower than 50 degrees to use these things. So welcome to episode 113. Dave, what do you have for us today?
You took it away. You started the podcast like a champ.
Woo! Do it.
Finally,
Finally.
he started something.
I am the star of the show, by the way. My name is Chris.
I think you've been drinking too much Kool-Aid.
Yeah, well,
and our buddy Swiss Miss
Swiss Miss is good for you. That's where
David.
you get calcium out of that.
David gets on you all the time with Swiss Miss. I tell you what, when I have a hard day at work, when I have a bad day, I literally think of you in a rocking chair drinking Swiss Miss.
And what's wrong with that?
It gets me through my tough day because it's hilarious.
Why is that hilarious? It's good for you.
It's just funny.
It's great.
Okay. Would you
Nice
drink a
and warm.
glass of glyphosate?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Would you?
So, no, I would not. But unfortunately, we eat glyphosate every day. You can't get away from it.
Yes, you cannot get away from it. It is in every food product out there. And, you know, the sad part about it is we use these herbicides on our plots and things, and then the deer eat it. It's traceable through the deer. And then even after you cook it, it's traceable in the meat.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
and
sucks.
it's in really weird stuff. I mean, someone said they found it in the cream filling of an Oreo cookie.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, it's everywhere, people.
It's in chips. I mean, anything with has wheat in it, it's for gly.
Anything with corn products, corn
Yeah.
chips,
People eat oatmeal and burger meat, any kind of meat, chicken, and I mean it's in there unless you buy fully organic, which is super expensive, and then even then you don't know how true that is, and you just can't get away from it.
No.
You just got to do the
Well, I mean,
best you can.
that's why we always say we don't like to really use herbicide unless you really got a train wreck.
Right.
You've got to right or wrong. So, well, let's talk about some of them. Did you make your list?
Yeah, I got a list. So today we're going to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 different herbicides. The most, I guess, common, most famous,
commonly used, yeah.
Whatever that people always chatter about. So
Okay.
we'll start with glyphosate first.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I use some of these chemicals. I don't like to, but sometimes you have to. But glyphosate is kind of like your all-around weed and grass killer. Now, I've sprayed it on broadleaf weeds before, but it's not as effective as killing the broadleaves as it is the grasses. It really torches the grasses. The problem with it is a lot of people don't use the correct amounts. And when you don't use the correct amounts, you get poor results, and then the plants can become resistant to the herbicide.
Right.
So I think like the standard, like I always use, is like 2 quarts, per acre, mixed in, 20, 25 gallons of water, whatever it takes to cover my acre. But if you stick to the higher, sometimes I even use 3 quarts before, if it's like really thick, a lot of weeds and stuff or grasses. But yeah, I get the 2.5 gallon jug from Tractor Supply.
Which is coming down right now.
It is, yeah. It was up to like what, $110
Yeah, it was crazy
last year, but now I think it's back down to in the 60s, maybe.
Yeah,
I think.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, you use it too, right? You use the same brand.
I've used it before.
It's, what is it? FarmWorks.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
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 So yeah, that's kind of like it works better on grasses. It's not as good on broadleafs. You feel the same?
I do feel the same, and I just want to add that I think in the near future
Hmm.
we will probably ban this in the U.S.
Probably.
I really do think we will, because if you look at other countries, they do not use it anymore.
Yeah, they don't use it.
You
You
know,
know what I read something too, and maybe somebody listening that knows it or lives in that state, but I swear I read something that Kentucky was banned from using glyphosate.
really.
I could be wrong,
Hmm.
but I thought I read something about this, and it was like last year, or might have been a few years ago. But it was something about Kentucky with it not being used anymore. Um, could be wrong, but maybe somebody can help us out with that.
Yeah, I never heard that yet.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know it's banned in other, like you said, other countries, and just like insecticide, all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is banned, and I do think that eventually it will be banned in the U.S.
okay.
Either that.
I googled it, Dave, as you was talking. It says no, they haven't banned it yet,
Okay.
but there are some states that are considering doing so.
Yeah.
And then it says that the U.S. has not banned glyphosate. It's still available in many commercial herbicides. Some states have considered banning due to its potential health effects and impact on bee populations, which
Right.
I think it's more than just bee populations that they're after.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But this Institute for Cancer classifies glyphosate as probable, in parentheses, probable uh,
It's not good.
carcinogen. How can you say it?
Carcinogenic.
Carcinogen. Yeah,
Yeah.
carcinogen. Yep, yep.
Yes. I mean, it can't be good, but you like I said, you gotta
Now
you gotta do
The EPA says it is unlikely to cause cancer in humans.
unlikely, but
Unlikely, it
yeah,
says.
unlikely. But yeah, I mean, it can't be good. Obviously, it kills things, so it can't be good. But you have to just do the best you can with it. I mean, when I spray it, I wear a mask, and always go to like Home Depot or something. I buy like one of those cheap painter suits, you know,
Like a what's that
like
called?
the zip the Tyvek
Yeah,
suits.
Tyvek.
You zip it up, you're covered, you're fully covered. I wear gloves, and when I'm done, I just rip that suit and I throw the suit away. But you
So
just you don't obviously don't want to get it on your skin. You don't want to breathe it. I mean, you just got to be careful with it.
yeah, right. Well, with any
Yeah.
of them, that's good
Yeah, with
advice.
any of them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's
Um,
number two?
next up is 24D.
24D.
Um,
24D.
yeah.
That's good for your broadleafs.
Oh yeah. It's a killer for broadleaves for sure.
Sure.
Um, and I'll mix the Gly and 24D together.
Yeah, I was gonna say I did a complete total burn down
Hmm.
over there at the food plot years back, and um that 15-gallon sprayer that I have, I
Hmm.
used 2 quarts of Glide to and 1 quart of 24D and filled the rest up with water in that 15-gallon container.
Hmm.
And that sucker was brown in a week.
Yeah.
I mean, it burned it
Yeah.
down to the dirt.
Yeah. That combo is a killer.
It is awesome if you want to really, you know, get rid of something fast. And man, I I'm thinking about doing it again at some point
Hmm.
and changing up some of my plots or adding to them. I might expand them. I'm thinking, but if I do that, that's the route I'm taking again.
Yep. It'll be a complete burn down.
Oh yeah.
Even then, what's crazy about that is even with that combo, I've tried to kill a pure clover plot.
Mm,
That clover rebounds.
yeah, it takes a little bit,
It's
but
insane.
it'll come back.
Yeah, it's hard to kill clover.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
It's considered a weed. It really is.
yeah. Next up is
Especially if you have a lawn.
right.
If you have a lawn, people try to
Yep.
kill clover in lawns.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Um, next up is 24DB.
2,4-DB. I have never used it, to be honest.
Yep, I used it one time. It's a broadleaf killer, but it's safe for clover.
Mm-hmm.
You can spray that in your clover plot.
Yeah.
It works. It works good. It works. It doesn't harm the clover. Now you can even spray your clover with glyphosate. Like if you
Yeah.
have grasses and
Lower
stuff in there,
dosage.
a
Mm-hmm.
lower dose. I mean, it might char it a little bit, but it rebounds. It really does. It
Yeah.
sets it back, but it really bounces
See,
back.
now I've done that before. I
Yeah,
I
I've done that too.
sprayed I sprayed like 1 quart and 15 gallon
Right.
and sprayed my plots.
Yep.
And yeah, it will curl the leaves a little, maybe yellow some fringes, and within
It'll
3
it'll
weeks you're back growing full tilt.
it'll
But
curl the leaves like your curly hair in your
you're
top of your
right.
head
Mhm.
curls.
I haven't
Oh,
had
that's right.
curls for
You don't have
25
any.
years.
You don't have any.
Any curls?
Any curls. You have what? 7 strands of hair?
8.
8. Oh, okay, he's got at least 12.
Maybe 12.
Okay. Um Another one is clethodim. Now, clethodim is safe for clover because it just kills your grasses.
Yes.
That's a good one as well. But we're going to give you an
The ultimate's coming.
the ultimate's coming. Because a lot of people plant clover and are always looking for questions about it. And we've talked about it many times, but it's on
Sure.
this list. Clethodim works. You can get that online or even Tractor Supply.
Mhm.
Works well. Now, the best, in my opinion, is IMOX.
I'm
IMOX does your grasses and broadleaf weeds all in one.
Mhm.
It's what, $100,
Uh,
80
yeah,
bucks?
give or take. Yeah, I mean it's like $80, but with
What
shipping it ends up being like 90. I
what's the
mean,
size? Was it a quart?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
only like a quart or something.
So it's a
Yeah.
quart, but you only need like 7 ounces per acre.
Mhm.
So you get a lot of acres out of that. But
Yeah,
it's very effective, but it's from at least for me using it, it's a slow process.
it is. It takes a long time to kill out.
Yeah, it's like instead of like the burn down where you can start really seeing it in like 8, 10 days or something, like the IMOX, you might not see it till like 14, 15, 16, 18 days.
I get impatient with
Yeah,
IMOX. I
yeah,
really do.
right. But it
I,
does work.
I come home every day and I check the plot, and it's like I don't see anything turning brown
I
yet.
know.
You know.
You don't think it's working, but
Yeah, I think, man, it didn't take a catch or something here.
all right,
But
but it
yeah,
does
I
work.
do like it. Now here's another tip. Like if you're gonna have spring summer plots and you're planning on killing stuff out with these chemicals we're talking about, remember they all have a residual that is left in the dirt for a little while too.
Hmm.
Um, it, I would suggest at least letting the dirt rest for about a month before you would replant a fall plot to it or something. Because I've rushed that before and I had poor germination. And I believe it was the residual left behind. So, yeah,
So
it's
what you're
just
saying is operator error.
yeah. Well, you IMOX, for instance, I've done everything short of calling them. I guess I need to call them, but I've read all their literature, got online, read everything I could. There is nothing that talks about residual time in the dirt
Hmm.
that I could find. So I always tell people, because of my trial and error, to give it a month before you go ahead and start to plant fresh seed again.
Right.
Just in case. And that's where having experience with some of these chemicals is good to help educate other people, because like I'll make the mistake, but I'll let you know about it. And, that way you don't make that mistake. So that's why
Hmm.
we try to educate with these videos.
Yeah. 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 Well, I'm trying to think because I get a lot of questions on where to get IMOX. I'm trying to think of that company. Um,
Keystone Pest Works.
that's it. Keystone Pest Works. They have a lot of stuff on there.
They do.
They have a
They have
lot of like,
another one there I'm going to try.
yeah.
And it's supposed to be just like an IMOX, but it comes
Hmm.
in like a gallon jug.
Mm.
And it it is like a low dose also, like only so many ounces per acre as well.
And it's
Y-
just for clover.
Yeah, it's like for alfalfa fields and clover fields and stuff like that. So I may order it this year and just try that one. Now it's
Hmm.
a lot more pricey because it's a gallon, but you get so much more product and it should go further. Um, like we said, the IMOX is like a quart or something. So
Hmm.
yeah, you're getting 3 times as much in the gallon. Um, so, but the difference in price is going to be like the IMOX is somewhere around the $90 mark, and I think this gallon was like 125.
Yep.
So I think I'm gonna try that one this year. Uh, there's a fellow I know from um, down towards Pittsburgh there, and we were texting back and forth about it last year. He asked if I'd ever heard of it, and he was reading up on it, and so that spurred me to investigate it a little deeper, and um, I decided that I was going to try it.
Hmm.
Uh, it's mainly like a legume spray, which clovers is a legume, so um, but they recommend it for like alfalfas and peanuts, even stuff like that, like a soybean.
Peanuts.
Yeah. Yep. People actually plant them. So yeah, and I believe he bought a gallon of it and used it, but he used it in a field that was full of poison ivy.
Hmm.
So I never did find out how that turned out for him. I should get a hold of him and see how he liked it. But I'll have a better view on that later on in in the fall for everybody. When I do try it, I'll be able to report back and tell you how I liked it.
You like
Maybe
peanut butter?
I do. Maybe it would be a good alternative for the IMOX.
Now I gotta ask this. Let me guess. For lunch, you drink Swiss Miss and a PBJ.
Actually, I did have a PB&J today.
See, there you go. I know. I
Yep.
got it figured out.
Yep.
Swiss Miss?
No, I haven't had hot chocolate for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
You're slacking.
you're
You're
weird.
you're bitter that Swiss Miss wouldn't give you a sponsorship.
I will approach them one day.
You should. And I feel like I should approach them for you.
You can do that.
I'm gonna say, look, this guy is
He's a fan.
addicted
He's a
to
fan.
Swiss Miss. He drinks it even in his sleep. He sweats. He sweats Swiss Miss.
I sweat brown.
You sweat brown.
I got chocolate stains around the neck of
Right.
my shirt.
Chocolate stain. Yeah, you got chocolate stains, all right.
Yeah.
Um,
Those ain't skid marks. Some are chocolate stains.
right. All right. Next up.
Oh, man.
Next up, Simazine.
Simazine.
I don't think you've
Simazine
ever
is
used
what?
Simazine.
I've never used it, but it's what? It's pre-emergent, right?
That is a pre-emergent, yes.
Yeah, I've never used that.
It's good stuff. A lot of people use it for switchgrass. Usually, like when I do like consulting and stuff, and people want to plant switchgrass, you recommend Simazine because um, uh, weeds is the number one killer, for
The
switchgrass.
competition, yeah.
Yeah, competition with that. So it's really a weird looking chemical. It's like this white chalky paste, thick
Oh,
paste that it looks like.
hmm,
But it sprays. It's usually like 2-3 quarts per acre, but it's relatively inexpensive. I have to order it online. I can't buy it local to me, but Zach gets it somewhere up in PA at this like local co-op type thing or something.
mhm.
It's like dirt cheap. It's like 25 gallons or $25 for like a gallon of it.
Wow.
It's like really cheap. But one thing that I do use it on sometimes, or I did use it, is for planting my Egyptian wheat.
Oh, okay.
Um, because you can get some competition in your Egyptian wheat, and
Yeah.
it'll stunt your Egyptian wheat.
Mm,
But you can use a pre-emergent. It'll still allow your Egyptian wheat to grow, but it won't. It'll kill the weeds.
right.
It won't allow them weeds to come up, but still allow the Egyptian wheat to grow.
Mhm.
So it can be used with that. It's a good. It works good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I guess if they had it local, I'd probably try it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I'm not gonna order it.
I have a whole gallon of it downstairs that I'm personally going to give you
Oh,
when I come up in May,
he's
catching
trying to
four fish on one lure.
4 fish on 1 hook.
Yep. I'll give you some and you can use it for your additional weed screen.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds like a deal.
yep. Along with the Quiet Cat, along with some Liquid Courage, along with some
Mhm.
what's the other stuff?
Dirty
Dirty
deed.
Deeds, and some Hot Chick, and some
You bringing hot chicks?
Hot Chicks,
All
and
right.
what's the other one? Bomb,
Uh,
Wingman.
Wingman. Yeah.
I'm bringing all my stuff to you.
You're quitting.
I quit.
He quit.
I'm done.
You
All
ain't
this.
raw. You ain't raw.
No, but
You're
I'm
eliminated.
I'm
You're
eliminated.
eliminated.
I'm eliminated. I got kicked out. Domain kicked me out of their program.
They want to.
Yeah, they did. They kicked me out. Bye bye.
Yeah.
You're bitter about it.
Mm,
He's quiet as a mouse. He ain't saying nothing.
I ain't saying nothing.
All right. Next one up, in my opinion, it's absolute junk, but it's called Arrest Max.
It's junk,
Um,
he says.
it's junk. It's literally junk. It's so they sell this Arrest Max and Slay, right? It's called Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sell it. Um, it's like super expensive. You get what?
Yes.
I can freaking
You
pee
get
more
you
than
get
what's in the
ounces of
yeah
this stuff.
ounces of it.
It's
And
like you could buy gold cheaper by the ounce.
yeah, I can you know in one pee I can pee 3 times more than what you get in this freaking bottle. Um, and I'll
And
tell
you
you
have to
what,
buy the crop oil to go with it.
and you got to buy the crop oil, so you have to buy 3 things to control weeds and grasses.
Yeah.
Now, I have personally used this twice,
Hmm.
and I can say that I had very little to no effect of killing weeds.
Oh.
It's insane. Um, and when I used to hunt with um, the Hups up in
Yeah.
Ohio, they were like major advocates of Whitetail Institute products, and they do make good products, but they never had luck with the Slay and Arrest.
Really?
Never. They tried it, it just never worked. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't work at all. I'm just saying the people that
They
I know and my experience with it, I mean, little to no effect.
I used I used the sleigh before,
Hmm.
um, just in a clover plot, and it did kill grass.
It did work.
Or I'm sorry, broadleaf.
So you use the
Um,
Slay then.
yeah, I used a
Yeah.
sleigh. It
Okay.
did kill some. I didn't have a bad problem, but I wanted to try it. Well,
Hmm.
after I bought it, I was like, "What the flip did I just do?" I mean, the
Hmm.
freaking little bottle was like, it was like at the time. I'm talking like 10 years ago. That little flipping bottle was like $45
Yeah, it's expensive.
plus $10 for crop oil. I had like $55, you know, and only enough product to spray a freaking quarter acre,
I know.
you know?
It's really it's
It's
not
so
the
pricey.
most what's the word I'm using? I don't know the word I'm
Efficient,
using, but
efficient,
it's
price
yeah, it's
efficient,
right.
cost efficient.
Cost efficient. It's not the best cost efficient way to go about it. There's
No.
better options. I mean,
Yeah.
you can buy what 2.5 gallon of glyphosate for $60, 2.5 gallons of it.
Yeah.
And then now I did notice. I don't know if you noticed in your Tractor Supply, but they started selling 1 gallon jugs of
They did.
glyphosate.
They did.
Yeah.
But
So
it's like $40 or something, you know?
I know. So it's just like
So
it's
you
better
might as
just
well
to
get the
buy
two
the
and a half.
right. Exactly. You get a whole nother gallon and a half for what $20.
Yeah.
Um, and then even like the 2,4-D. I mean, you get. I think it might be a gallon. I can't remember what they come in, but that's like 35 or something,
Some of them
$40.
some of that locally was pretty pricey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because last year I had to buy a little bit of 2,4-D, and it was up there.
Right.
And since you was here last year on our last fish trip, they built a new Tractor Supply.
Hmm.
I didn't know if you remembered that.
Well, you said they were building one what past J&J?
Yes, it's just past J&J there through the intersection past the sheets there.
Mm-hmm.
So actually it's before J&J. I'm sorry. Because
Oh, it's
it's
before J&J.
yeah. There's the little shopping center across from Sheets, and then
Mm-hmm.
the Working Man Boot Shop, and then the O'Reilly's Automotive, and the Tractor Supply, and then just down the street is J&J Feed.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool.
So it's real close to the intersection. So that's real.
It's a
That's
heck of a
cool.
lot
Like,
closer than Punksy.
yeah, Punksy or Du Bois or Clarion. Yeah, heck yeah. I'm excited about it because, like, you know, I don't have to run anywhere. If I need something, I can just go in there.
Right, right,
If
right.
I was to run out of a domain seed, I could probably go in there and get it. Actually, I haven't been in there but once, and I didn't even look around to see if they had seed. So I'm hoping they carry domain. I don't know.
I'm sure they
We'll
will.
see. We'll see about that.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm
So that,
excited. I mean, there's going to be stuff I can get there locally
yeah,
now.
yeah. When you break your four wheeler, you can go there and buy stuff to fix it.
Stop it.
Um. So yeah, so that's our 9 herbicides that probably most common. You know.
I would say.
Um.
I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Obviously, your Gly and 2,4-D is going to be your most common. IMOX is kind of becoming popular. Simizine's been around,
Hmm.
clethodim, 2,4-DB. They all have their uses. If you can, though, money wise, stay away from the arrest and slay. It's just not. It's not cost effective to buy that. There's better options.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's about it. Hopefully, um, this chemical list helps you guys. We did mention some,
They're also the more affordable herbicides.
yeah.
You get into some of these specialty name brand things, like from Bayer, the same company, Bayer aspirin, that type of company. Uh, some of that stuff is ridiculous. Like, there's one called Post, and Post is a grass elimination thing too. You, a gallon of that crap's like $300. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy smokes, what are you gonna do with that?
Mhm.
You know, like I said, you can buy freaking gold cheaper than a gallon of this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
All right, yeah. So that's episode 113, the most commonly used herbicides in your food plots,
Yep.
most cost effective, and we tried to list the most effective ones as well.
Mhm.
So that'll be it for this one, folks.
All
We will
right.
see you on the next one.
See you on 114.
See ya.
Buy me some Farmers Inn cookies
I might.
and some Swiss Miss
Mm,
oatmeal raisin.
I have Swiss Miss here at the house. I don't have
Oatmeal
to
ra-
buy.
oatmeal raisin.
Maybe.